Well, today, on my day 8 of my 30-day life challenge, I titled it "You have to walk before you can run." And I wanted to share a little story with you, and then I'm gonna bring it full circle in the end, I promise. But a few years back, when I started training my replacements to take over as executive chef, when I decided, it was going to be time for me to move on. One of the biggest things that I had to do daily was really talk about, can we execute this? It sounds great. It's a really fun idea, but is it feasible to execute? I remember one of my sous chefs, she'd be doing a tasting, and she'd come over, and her plates were beautiful. I mean, gorgeous. But she'd come over and she'd say, "What do you think?" And I would say, "Okay, how many steps are on that plate?" And she'd say, 7, 8, 9. And I'd say, "Okay, and what day of the year is this event?" She'd say, "Well, it's in December." I'm like, "Okay, so it's our busiest time of year, and we have 8 steps on that plate on a night where we're probably going to have anywhere from 6 to 11 events, and our team is going to be strapped really, really thin. Do you think it's smart to offer our clients this plate with this many steps?" And it was kind of, always a little bit of a battle. Marissa, if you're watching, I love you, but it was always a little bit of a battle, because it is exciting and it is fun, and you always want to push yourself and challenge yourself, but at the end of the day, it has to be executable in order for it to be profitable. I would love to put a quenelle of ice cream on all of my, plate ups in catering. But when you're doing it for 1,000 people in the middle of summer, guess what's going to happen? Ice cream's going to melt everywhere, and you're going to end up refunding a lot of money, right? So really kind of thinking about that, and really wrapping your head around that, it takes time, and it also takes honesty, I think. Can we do this well? That was probably the hardest part of my job, was having to be the one that said that all the time. Are we going to be successful? And at the end of the day, that's what you have to be, and that's what you want to be. Today is a day where in Arizona we're opening up our restaurants with limited capacity, social distancing, and a whole list of requirements that they have to follow or should follow. And I think, when talking with other restaurants and other, businesses in the food and beverage industry, it's kind of split 50-50 on whether or not people decided to open their doors today, or whether they just said, "You know what, we're just not ready." And I thought, that's really smart. If you're not ready to do it right, if you don't have all of the things in place, your staff isn't trained on how to handle when a customer comes up and says, "What are you doing to keep me safe?" and they don't know the answer, or they're not trained properly on how to sanitize every single table and chair in front of a dining room full of people without feeling nervous or uneasy. Or maybe now you have a limited crew because you had to lay a lot of people off. So you're just rebuilding that team again. I'm not here to say whether it's smart to open your doors today or not. And I hope that every single business who decided to is super successful today and has a wonderfully welcoming experience that's profitable. It's bringing that money again, right? But what I do want to talk about is that, it's important. Hi, Cal. It's important to also say and be honest with ourselves when we're just not ready. A restaurant I know pretty well said that to me. They said, "We're just not ready to do this right now. We're not. We don't think that we can execute this well. We're doing really well with takeout and delivery, and we're just not quite there." And that's okay. Because it's a lot different when you have a dining room full of people. Not full, but you know what I'm trying to say. And you're also trying to make sure that people are not touching every surface, and people are washing their hands, and all of these things that could come up and could arise. If you're not ready, don't do it, because you never want to be in a situation where you have to refund money. And right now, especially, you might have had a really loyal following where even before, say they had, and just an okay experience, or say they had a bad experience and they reached out and said, this was a really bad experience for me, and it's not like us to, or it's not like you guys to kind of fail us like that. So we just wanted to let you know I had a bad experience. Usually you can offer them some sort of gift card, or please let us try this again. Let me make it up to you. You might not have that option anymore because people are still very, very scared. I see polls all over Facebook every single day that kind of go like this. When dining rooms open, wherever you're at across, the world, when dining rooms are open again, will you be one of those people rushing out to sit down? And again, it's from what I can tell, at least a lot in Arizona, it's kind of 50-50. In Arizona, we have, we didn't get hit as hard as other places in the United States with the virus. So I think, really, really being honest with ourselves and really making sure that we have all of the safety precautions put in place. We have all of our PPP equipment ready to go. PPE, sorry. Our staff is trained right. Our menus are executable. They're limited because we don't know what is to come. We don't know how many people are going to show up. So, keeping our menus limited and making sure that we do a really good job. That's going to be key here. It really is. You don't have to offer the world in order to be a great place to come to. You don't have to have 90 million toppings. That's what I used to tell the sales girls. Just because it's a mac and cheese bar doesn't mean we need 75 toppings. Okay? People don't need that many options. They just want a good experience. They want a safe experience that makes them feel really, really good about the decision that they made in leaving their house today or next week or whenever it is that your mandates are going to slowly start getting lifted. Don't put 9 steps on that plate up for 1,000 people because you're not going to be able to do it well. And you really only are going to get one shot at this to do it right. It's going to be a lot harder now to win those people back. So start off on a really good foot, a really confident foot, knowing that you're doing everything right, knowing that you're putting the best product out there, that your customer service is on point, that your teams are trained to handle any situation that comes their way, making sure that you have masks in place and you're talking openly with your employees about if they're experiencing symptoms, letting them know that safety has to be number one, putting those SOPs in place, maybe throwing up signs all over the place on ways to prevent the spread of the virus. If you're not ready to do that in front of a dining room full of people, that's okay. But now's the time to get ready. Keep working that takeout and delivery. Keep looking at other options for income stream. People are dying for an experience, so even if they're not, running to your door to dine with you, offer them an experience they can do at home while you continue to get all of your eggs in your basket in place, right? While you continue to perfect everything that you're about to execute in front of a dining room full of people. Because people are going to be critical. I swear they are. Okay? I went out the other day when they opened up the nail salons, and I said, it's my birthday, I'm going to get my nails done. And, they did a really good job at being safe. There was only so many of us allowed inside of the salon, which was great. That made me feel great. They handed masks to you when you walked in. Here, put this on, please. Okay? And we were all, opposite. How those chairs you sit in to get like your pedicure, they wouldn't let you sit right next to it. It had to be every other one. But somebody in there, and I don't know who she was, somebody in there came in and had, it felt like nothing but bad things to say. Why are you charging me $5 for this? What is wrong with you? That's not how you remove gel polish. This is wrong. This is wrong. I mean, literally, the lady, I swear I was about ready to lose it on her because I couldn't believe how crazy she was being. You know, which just takes us back to these people have been cooped up way too long and they got a lot of pent-up aggression. So we gotta be on our A game out there. We cannot give anybody a reason to say we've done something wrong. Okay? I hope that this was helpful today. And I'm so excited for those of you who got to open your doors today, and I hope you have such a great experience. I hope the people that come and join you today are so happy to share this experience with you. Please let us know if any of you guys have opened up for Dine In. Let us know how this experience is going. I'm dying to hear, okay? And I hope to see you guys all again tomorrow.